bike's popping like a bitch with this new pipe on it. Another day out with my family. They're the most consistent people I ride with. Nothing wrong with that. It's a lot of fun having a bunch of people that you can always rely on to go ride. It feels weird talking again. I haven't had my, it's been, I don't know, a month almost, I think, since my last vlog. We had a lot of stuff going on. Me and the lady in front of me, we got married. So, wee-hoo for that. Went to Costa Rica. Man, that place is crazy. There are bikes everywhere. And all kinds of dual sports. I didn't see any real, I think I saw 2 supermotos the whole time we were there. And it was a Husky and I saw a KTM and a Husky. I think I saw a Husky. I'm not really sure. I couldn't tell from behind it. It could have been some copy. And then I saw a CRF 250, 230, I guess is what it would be. But man, there's all kinds of bikes that you've never seen, or I've never seen out there. A bunch of like Korean. I would assume they're Korean. I really don't know. I guess to assume they're Korean, like United Motors and Freedom. And they're like, looks like copies of old Honda standard bikes, like CB350s and stuff like that. But nothing over, no big displacement bikes. I think I saw 1 cruiser and 1 sport bike. All the rest of them are these standard looking low displacement bikes. And this side of the country, I'm on the East Coast. Man, the rain has been non-stop for like 3 weeks now. So if we're gonna get a chance to ride, we gotta just get on it, because we don't have a choice otherwise. Because this has been the nicest day it's been in, I don't know, 3 weeks. I jetted my car for a pipe before I got this pipe, and it was making it run real rich because it had a stock pipe for this bike on it. And now when I rejetted, or I changed my needle jet and moved it from 4th clip down to 3rd clip down, moved it up a clip, and it leaned it out, and it made it respond better with the stock pipe on it, but with this pipe on it, it sure as shit is way too lean, as you can tell from all the popping. But I will tell you a difference about, I got it's a FMF PowerCore TI and a Power Bomb header. And I can tell you the difference that I can feel is like 1st through 3rd gear. The low end of 1st through 3rd feels so much more available. This bike's got low end anyways, but yeah, low end on this bike was never a problem. This is a section of road I've never been on before. This is, I'm on the yellow line. This is NC80. And they came out here, my dad and Diane, they came out here. They came out here last week. Rain's making me run wide. I feel like I need to warm my tires up before I go out and rail. They came out here last week before last, and said that this road was awesome, which it pretty much is, but it's been wet so much that you can't really get on it, you know, you can't really ride. man, it's nice to be back on my bike. I had a bunch of problems. Like we went on vacation, which is not a problem. Vacation is something I thoroughly enjoy. Efforts in creative traffic navigation. This guy's gonna be a dick. Well, we went on vacation, and I was having an issue before we went on vacation where my brakes were feeling squishy. I had come out to a section of road that's out here called 421, and my brakes were feeling like halfway down the mountain. I had bled my brakes the day before, and halfway down the mountain, my brakes completely 100% gave out. Like I had no brake feel whatsoever. And it only lasted for a second, like I had sucked a bunch of air in. And my brakes completely gave out for just a second. Made me panic a little bit, as you can expect, because on that road it was dry then, and I was hauling ass. And made me panic for a second. That was our last run of the day, so I was booking it. And got home and started bleeding my brakes. And we're bleeding them and bleeding them and bleeding them. And can't get it to get a good feel. It feels spongy like crazy. And just keeps feeling spongy. The rain just keeps feeling spongy. So Diane's watching, we're bleeding our brakes, and Diane goes, "There's brake fluid bubbling out around the bottom of your line. Is it supposed to be doing that?" No. One of the crimps on my line had blown out. Around where my banjo goes into the caliper had blown out, and I'm like shooting, it's sucking air from that location and spitting brake fluid back out. So there's your problem right there. So I order a new line, get the new line in, and can't get it to bleed right, so I'm stuck trying to fighting my brake line. That was the first problem. And then I've been having trouble with the way this bike holds oil. The next problem was I've got this oil filler line. Aluminum line that comes, a bunch of turkeys. The aluminum line that comes down from the frame where my oil is held, because it's a frame, oil is in the frame of this bike. And I was having this problem with my oil filler line. It was leaking real bad. So I had put a crush washer behind it. There wasn't supposed to be one, but I put a crush washer behind it. It kind of band-aid the problem a little bit, and it fixed it for a little while. But I guess the bolt I had put in there was shorter than the bolt that they did, like the spec bolt, and so the oil filter line never got a good seal, and I was always having this little trickle of oil coming out of my oil filler line. And so I finally was tightening it down, trying to get a good tight seal. And I don't know if you've ever tried to screw a hardened steel bolt into an aluminum case, but whoever thought that up was a moron. Whoever came up with that idea of having a hardened, the thing you're screwing into be harder or softer than the bolt you're screwing into it, a complete idiot. Because I stripped out all the threads of this oil filler line. Pretty in the rain. Oh, this is that. She was telling me about this turn. Up into the hill. The Mist! Supermotos in the Mist! Mist is cool. Oh. Yellow lines are squirrely like usual. So this filler line problem keeps persisting, and I end up having to go get hardened steel heel coils to put in the hole so I can actually get my filler line to clamp down. And I still need a crush washer because it's not bad. It's just like I've got this little residue of oil on the bottom of my motor, and I don't know, I don't like having any kind of fluid leaks. And then the third problem I had is yesterday, after I get my pipe and everything on, because I just ordered this bike, got my brake line bled, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ride. Rain or shine, I'm going out. So I go out to start my bike. My clutch feels weird, but I don't know. I think it's just maybe I haven't been on it in a while, and it's just that you forget how stuff feels sometimes. And I get about halfway down for the location where I want to go, and look at my clutch line gives out completely. Fuck, great, what happened? And so I look at the adjuster, because I'm thinking the adjuster just spooled out or something. I look at the adjuster, and my clutch cable is being held on with two of the, like, I guess it's a 6-strand cable or something like that. Or 10-strand, I don't know. It's being held on with two of the strands it's supposed to be on there. We found that out. I found that out yesterday. I've got 2 strands of a clutch cable left, so I get enough. It's enough to get me to limp home. And I limp home, and I'm calling. There's 6 or 7 Yamaha dealerships in my area. I think it's 6. And I'm calling around, and then I'm calling all these Yamaha places, and I call Cycle Gear. You know, trying to see if anybody's got an OEM replacement line for my bike, 05 WR450. Nobody has one. Out of all of the places I went, nobody has one. Or all the places I looked, rather. Calling. I even went out like an hour. I looked like an hour and I guess 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half in distance away, just to I'm gonna crash. New roads in the wet. So nobody's got a clutch cable. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna, I got like 6 days off. I'm planning to ride, planning to do all this stuff. And I'm like, I get all bummed out. Man, nothing's gonna happen. SOL, you know. Getting pissed off. Back down the hill. I've got this aversion to downhill turns because of when I had a GSXR. I was on the road near here, actually. I didn't know this existed. I would have come up here. I had my GSXR. I wrecked it coming a road called 181, and it's more sport bike oriented. Like, this stuff's real tight, so it's good for a supermoto because you're on the power all the time, like a dirt bike, you know, like a short track on a dirt bike. You want to be on the power for most of the time. The sport bike turns are more gradual, a little more sweepers is I guess what they're called. And I crashed coming down a hill, coming home after riding all day. And so now I've always had this, in the dry, I'm not really that worried about it. I'm pretty confident when it's dry. I've never been real confident in the rain. What was I talking about? Oh, before when we got to the top of the hill, I was talking about all the trouble I've been having with my bike. So the last thing I had was I was telling you that my clutch cable broke. And my clutch cable. So it's yesterday. I'm supposed to go ride today. And we were gonna go camp and like ride and camp and ride again. But with the weather being like this, we decided not to camp. But either way, we were gonna come out and ride today, apparently, because we're doing it. So, my dad's got a friend named John. John's got a sponsor. Is a sponsored GNCC rider, ride the Yamaha YZ290F, like YZ250, but bored out. And he beats the shit out of a bike when he's fast as shit, but he's got all these extra parts. And I'm not gonna go over and bug him for parts, but my dad said my dad will volunteer. He said, hey, let's go see if John has a clutch cable for his YZ. We go over there, and actually my dad went over there, and it so happens he's got an extra clutch cable, and it's the same length, but the adjusters are different, which the adjusters being different isn't that big a deal. God, I love sections like this. The adjusters being different is not that big a deal. We just had to make it work. So the top adjuster fits inside I've got this on-the-fly adjuster. The top adjuster fits inside there. And then the bottom, there's an adjustment screw, this barrel on the outside for the adjustment screw. So I had there's a mounting bracket on my bike already for my clutch cable. And the cable's got these fittings and shit on it. And I go out to start working on it, and I can't get it to work. I'm getting all pissed off, you know, like some easy thing, like changing the clutch cable should take 45 minutes. And because especially since this bike, because the routing's weird, I've got to take my bike almost all the way apart. The clutch cable, it's the right length, so we had to take an angle grinder. We were going to do it with a Dremel, but my dad's Dremel was messed up. We had to take a Dremel, cut the adjuster on the bottom in half, flip the bracket over. That was my clutch cable bracket for my bike that was already on it. Flip it over, and then use it to guide the cable. And with it flipped over with that barrel in half, it's the perfect length. It's a little longer than I would like because I've got this, or I guess shorter. I've got this weird throw in my cable. Like I've got I like my cable to be closer to my bar, so like I can keep my clutch pulled in halfway and then just pop it through gears. This one's farther out, so immediately when I turn it in, it disengages my clutch. Which is not bad, it's just a different one of use for riding. But either way, we got it working, so I'd already ordered a new clutch cable, but this one will work fine until I can get for my whole, I got like 6 days of vacation. This one's gonna work great until I get that one, get my new one done. Because it's not slipping at all, it's doing fine. It's just set up how I needed it to be set up.